Hello everyone, welcome back. It's Anna here. As you know, I am on the Cambridge Weight Plan. I have been on it for 18 weeks now, started back on the 1st of June and have been on it ever since. I have been on step one. As you know, Cambridge Weight Plan is a plan that is designed to reduce your calorie intake and gradually build it back up as you lose weight. So depending on how much weight you've got to lose, you may start with a complete meal replacement with either 3 or 4 products depending on the BMI, and then you gradually introduce food until you get to your recommended daily calorie intake. So I have been on step 1 for 18 weeks. I did 1 week of step 2 after the first 12 weeks, and I have continued thereafter. I normally give you an update on a Thursday or a Friday towards the end of the week. This week's slightly different. I am going to be away for the weekend, so the run up to it is going to be quite busy. So I thought I'd give you an update. Now, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that when I give you my update is Thursday, Friday. What I haven't told you is that I actually get formally weighed by my Cambridge consultant on Mondays. I just never get around to it, but I do want to share the updates that I have. So it is Tuesday today. I went to get weighed yesterday, and I wasn't sure what to expect from the weigh-in because after a fantastic result of a 2-kilo weight loss last week, my body seems to have decided that it had given me everything it had to give last week, and therefore this week it wasn't just going to shed the weight just like that. So my weight schedule is I get weighed by my Cambridge consultant on Mondays, and I weigh myself at home, privacy of own scales and clothes and all that kind of stuff that makes me feel like I am going to be lighter. So I weigh myself on Mondays and Fridays. It just kind of keeps me check. I know it's too much, and I know I should only weigh myself once, but I can't help myself. I just like to check. It gives me a little burst of either I'm doing well, or you know what, I need to walk my dog for half a block longer at the weekend to try to boost things up a little bit. So last week was very frustrating because it got to Friday and I had lost 200 grams. So that's under half a pound. What do you do when you see that? You kind of go, okay, this cannot be. So you weigh yourself the following day because you think, I've drank more, or I've gone to the loo, or I've done other things, I've done more exercise, so definitely I have to have lost more. So I'll weigh myself on the next day, and again, 200 grams. And if you've been watching me, you know that my firm belief is you stick to the plan, you will lose the weight. And what I have been saying is that I will lose, that I lose on average at least 1 kilo a week. I'm eating 800 calories a day. There is no chance I'm not losing weight. So 200 grams again. Sunday came, 300 grams. You can imagine I was on quite stressed out mode, thinking it can't be. I cannot lose 300 grams only, because of course you get very greedy and demanding of how much weight you start to lose. And if the Cambridge diet has been anything for me, it has been reliable from a weight loss perspective. So I was very frustrated with this result, and hadn't even been able to walk a lot because I wasn't feeling great over the weekend. I think I was fighting something. I said a little bit last week about feeling lightheaded, and this weekend I was still not 100% great. So I had myself a cup of tea of a new tea that I'm going to share with you. Again, none of this is, I am not in any way sponsored or anything. This is just my personal reflections and shares. So that's all it is. I've heard about this, the Yorkshire tea malt biscuit brew. Tastes like tea and biscuits. If you like rich tea biscuits, that's what this tastes like. And I can assure you, even black without any milk, it tastes amazing. So I had 2 cups of that over the weekend. It perked me up. Went for a walk on Sunday. Monday came, and at home I'd lost 600 grams. So I was a little bit disappointed with that. But I thought, you know what, 600 grams is still it's still a pound. It's still a great result. I've been on this for 18 weeks. If you remember my first round of 12 weeks, After about week 3 or 4, I had a little bit of a slowdown, which was again about 100 grams, and then it picked back up again. The interesting thing is that was in the morning. By the time I got to my consultants and I got weight in her scales, with clothes, which I clearly choose the thinnest clothes I can find to get myself weighed, I had actually lost 900 grams on her scales, which made it a total of 31 kilos, which means I have reached my 5-stone milestone. So 18 weeks, 5 stones weight loss. I could not be happier. So they give us a little bit of a rosette for each stone you lose. And as you know, my husband and myself, we're both doing this. He's also lost 5 stone. I've lost 5 now as well. So we've lost 10 stones between the two of us. The difference it's making is amazing. And I thought it was so good because going into the weigh-in, because of the weekend and psyching myself up about the fact that I hadn't felt great and I hadn't been losing weight all week. I was a little bit down when I first got there. You will not believe how cheered up I was, A, by the fact that I lost 900 grams, which meant I'd lost more when I got there than at home. I may just need to get some new scales, but I'll persevere for another couple of weeks. But that was a great surprise. And then hitting my 5-stone milestone was amazing. So when you think about it, my husband's lost about just under 5.5 stone and I've lost 5. So women to men normally lose weight faster, and the fact that I'm able to keep up with him is an amazing result as well. So with that in mind, then I thought, okay, maybe I've hit my BMI target. As you know, if you're below, well, you may or you may not know. So if you are below 5'4", you should be on 3 products a day. If you are taller than 5'4", then you should be, is it 4? No, I am 5'4", I think it's 5'7". So if you're below 5'7", you should be on 3 products a day. If you're above, is 4 products a day. Unless your BMI is higher than 40. So if you're below 5'7" and your BMI is higher than 40, then you go on 4 products a day. And that's what I have been. So I am just borderline going below that 40. I know that you all think I have lost so much weight, which I have, because 5 stone is amazing. And I know that you all think my face has shrunk down so much. But clearly with a BMI of 40, it represents that there's still plenty more to go from loads of other places. But you know, we're working on that. So I'm going to be on 4 products a day for 1 more week. And then next week is a change to 3 products, which I'm kind of dreading, but I'm not. And, and I'm not, and I want to do it, and I don't. I'm enjoying my 4 products. It's going so well. I don't want to feel hungry, but, I'll have to deal with it. I have to get used to the fact that if I want to get to the weight that I want to be, I should be eating less a day. So it's one of the stages I need to go through, but I'm kind of in that about to change mode and feeling a little bit apprehensive about it, but at the same time very excited that it's getting to that stage, because it's definitely progress for me. So with all of that in mind, then I thought, okay, what should I talk about with you today? And I thought, well, how about given how I was feeling, given how much better I felt after the weigh, then I thought, okay, what is it that is actually working for me to be successful at the Cambridge diet? Now, I still have a lot of weight to lose, and I do re-emphasize that because I have lost maybe not as much in one go before, but I have been the same weight that I am now before. I have continued to put weight on and gone beyond that, and I've lost significant amount of weight, and then I put it back on. So I have JoJo dieted a lot. And the key is to sustain. So whilst I'm still on a big weight loss program, I want to be careful to maintain that, because I can see that this is going to be not just the weight loss, but I need to think about the weight maintenance in the same way as I'm thinking about this weight loss. So for me, one of the things that has been really important is to reflect on what are the things that are working for me, that are helping me to make this a success, and to feel as good about this diet as I feel, because I have never felt so good in any other diet. So I wanted to share my reflections on that. I guess it's a little bit similar to things I have shared before, but hopefully it gives you a different perspective on how to make it work for you and make sure that it's a success if you are on the same diet as well. So number one point, I'm going to go through 5 points, what I think are my 5 keys to making the Cambridge diet a success for you. Number one, before I start, I'm not sure they're in full ranking order, but I'm going to give you my top 5, mix and match them and make them applicable to you or what you think is more relevant to you or not. These are things that I think, the way that I view them. So here are my 5 keys to success on the Cambridge Weight Plan. Number 1 is stick to the plan. This is such an obvious one, but there is so many times that I have looked for excuses to not do something. I have been excuse queen extraordinaire. Believe me, I can find excuses for pretty much anything in life. And I've had to put them all aside. I've found excuses about, well, I can't do this because I've got this birthday and it's for a very important person in my life and I don't want to limit them and I don't want to dampen their birthday because I'm dieting, or I don't want to be surrounded by food if I'm dieting, so I might as well just do that and then I can start my diet, or I'm going on a holiday, or I've got work to do, or you know the drill, you know what I'm talking about. However, if you choose your step, the one that is right for you, which you will discuss with your consultant, and if you stick to it, and if you stick to the plan and the calories, it will come through for you. Even for me, even on a week when I felt like 300 grams was not going to shift, it still works. And even if I had only lost 300 grams, half a pound after 18 weeks of consistent, significant weight loss would still be a big result. So, it's something that you need to kind of get into the right mindset of. If I stick to it, I will get the results. And it's difficult sometimes because you see things and you want them and you get these cravings and you think about life and it's a change from your norm. But which one do you want more? Do you want that immediate fix, or do you want in 4 weeks' time to be 1-2 stones lighter? Do you want in 2 months' time to be 3 stones lighter? Do you want in 4.5 months to be 5 stones lighter? Believe me, I can tell you which one has made the biggest difference to my life and which one has made me feel better about myself and improve my health. It is tough, but it's a fact of life. If you stick to the plan, it will work for you. With that, number 2. Choose your products wisely. So my recommendation, if you're doing this, is first try all of the products, try everything you want. Clearly, if you don't like something, like me, I don't like mushrooms, I'm not going to go anywhere near the chicken and mushroom soup. That's not what I'm telling you. But if you do like the flavors, give them a go, because the things that you think you'll enjoy the most may surprise you, and the things that you think you're a bit more indifferent to, all of a sudden you may like, and the things that you thought you'd enjoy the most, you'll be like, meh, I'm not sure I care about this so much. So my taste in the products have evolved over time, and let me think. In terms of the meals, I started off with the Thai green noodle soup and the couscous and the chicken tikka, and those I really enjoyed. And I had the mac and cheese, and then I've been doing what I'm calling the pimping out my mac and cheese, which basically includes adding loads and loads of black pepper, chili flakes, and nutmeg. And for me, it tastes amazing. And that's basically wiped the floor with every other product. So all of my dinners at the moment are mac and cheese, which is crazy because I've never had the same meal consistently every day I think I've done that for the last 3-4 weeks. And I enjoy it every single day. It gives me something to look forward to. I really like it. I think it's the savouriness, the pepperiness. It just, So I've chosen, that product. But I've gone through a period where I was rotating against 3 or 4 different meals. I was rotating all the different shakes. I was having different things. And then I started to narrow it down to the things that I enjoy the most. And even as you eat those, some you may get more tired of eating, or you feel like you may fancy a different change. So stick to what you like, but still find a way of bringing variety into it. Variety is important because it will keep you going. The other thing that is also important, and I think you can do with Cambridge versus other plans and other meals, is because you've got such a variety of products from shakes, bars, meals, bites, puddings, porridge, you can really flex those and choose the products in a way that helps you to adjust to your life, to adjust to the season. So for example, I've been actually changing my meals recently as the weather has been getting colder to include more hot meals. So I've been adding soups, I've been adding porridge, which I didn't have all the way through the summer. I think I just had it to taste it. But now on a Sunday morning, we go out and we like to take the dog out first thing in the morning for a walk, and then we get back and just having that nice big bowl of warm porridge, maple and pecan, and then I'm going to spice it up a bit. So I give it a few shakes of cinnamon. Oh, so nice, so nice. Spices, as long as they have no salt and no sugar, they're not going to mess up with the plan. So you can really add a little bit more flavour if you feel like you need to, give yourself a little bit of a boost in terms of the flavour profiles that you're having. So choose your product, mix and match them to your needs, to your week, to the different events that you have, to the weather, to what you feel like, to what you prefer. Apparently there's a new festive flavour bar coming out next week or towards the end of this week. I can't wait to try it. Looking forward to that. Right now my meals are shakes. During the week, shakes, either a shake, a peanut bar or a soup for lunch. Favourite soups are the veggie and croutons and the oriental chili spice. Mac and cheese for dinner. Oh, it's got to be done. And then for my snack in the evening, I'll either do, my favourite is salted caramel bites, but I may do lemon bar. I may do a shake sometimes to fancy something cooler. There is the chocolate and hazelnut pudding, which is like a liquid Ferrero Rocher, all of that. So mix and match your meals, make them work for you. Just make sure that it are products that you enjoy, that you don't feel like it's a hardship doing it. Because if you enjoy the products and you think, once you get past the initial shell shock of the first 2 days of thinking, is that all I'm eating? You start to really enjoy the products, you feel fuller, you have more energy. And if you look forward to every single meal that you have, makes such a massive difference. So do choose your products wisely, make them work for you. Stick to what you like if you want to. Don't feel like you need to vary it, but if you get tired of things soon, vary them and you'll enjoy that much more. So that was point number 2. Point number 3, plan ahead. You know that I've been saying this all along in terms of plan for your life. We all have to plan our lives. I know that you do that. But what I mean is really think about your meals and plan your meals, not just from a food prep point of view, but what is going to be more applicable for you. So do you have to go into work, and what does your work consist of? So do you have to go into meetings, and will you be able to have a shake, or will you be able to have a bar? Do you drive a lot, and are you going to be eating whilst you're in your car between meetings or appointments? So will a bar be better for you, more easy to manage and to carry around than having to worry about a shake? Do you have any family events? How are you going to cope with them? Just think about the different elements of life that could impact what you're eating, how you're eating it, and when and where, because that will be important decision-making factors to help you make the right choices. So, for example, we're going to go away for the weekend, we're traveling, we have a 3-hour drive, we're going to eat before we go, but we're also going to take a bar with us so that as we go along, if we hit some traffic, we will have water and we will have a bar. So if we get hungry and we haven't made it, then we know we can have it. We're not just going to rely on being able to make it. And when we get there, we will still have our bar, but at least we know that Friday night meal will be, or snack will be, a bar, and that will work for us. I work, either I'll go into the office or I'll work from home. So if I work from home, I'll do a shake that works better on the kind of the blender, or I'll put more ice. There are other shakes that blend easier, so the banana is quite a good one. So I'll have those in the office. At lunchtime, if you're going to be having a soup and you're at work, where are you going to put it? Do you have a bowl? Do you have anywhere to put it? Do you have a microwave at work? Does that mean that you can take a hot meal with you, or do you prefer to have a shake and then you have your hot meal in the evening? All of those things, but you need to think about how they're going to impact your life. So planning ahead is very important. The other thing that is important to plan ahead is for the unexpected. So it's not just about planning what you can control, but also planning potential scenarios that could become derailers for you. Now, I'm not saying that you need to become obsessive about planning, worst case scenario in everything that you do, but at least at some point think through what if scenarios so that you can have a reaction ready to hand to how you would behave or how you would react to that, so that it doesn't throw you off, it doesn't derail you, it doesn't make you reach out for a different food than you would want to do if you stick into your plan. So think about things, what happens if, and then you fill in the blanks. So what happens if you're at work and somebody offers you a donut or a cream cake or a muffin or some cake that they have made because they have done a bake-a-thon for charity, and they put all of this in front of you. How are you going to react to that? Are you going to say no? Are you going to excuse yourself? Are you going to say thank you, I'll donate, but I'll leave, you can have my piece of cake? How do you want to deal with it? Okay, so I'm hoping that you're still there. I got a phone call and I had to deal with it. So how do you deal with that? Then what happens if you get invited out for a meal? And how will you deal with that? Will you say no? Will you say yes? Will you say yes and turn up and have your meal? Will you say yes but just turn up for coffees after? Will you sit there throughout the whole meal? Will you be able to do that to yourself? How will you feel about it? Things that I have shared in the past. What happens if you have people coming and staying over? Are you going to cook for them? Are they going to cook for themselves? Are they going to get themselves a takeaway? How are you going to deal with that? What happens if, for all the mothers out there in the world, respect, and fathers, for all the parents out there in the world, respect you all, that you have to take care of your own needs and your diet, and you have to cook for others, and you have to put food on the table, and you can't afford to, you can't miss it out. How are you going to deal with that sneaky habit of maybe cooking something and not realizing that you're putting something on a bowl, and then before you know it, you've put a chip in your mouth, or you're licking a spoon with something that you shouldn't? How are you going to manage that? What are you going to do to prevent yourself from doing that? Are you going to chew on some chewing gum, or are you just going to, weather it out? How are you going to deal with it? My most recent one is, what happens if you forget your products? Ugh. I went out of the house and I was out for the day and I forgot my products, and I have to deal with that. So it was a little bit difficult, and after sharing that, luckily actually my husband had lived through that before, and we talked about it, and basically he ended up getting I think it's Light Alive product that you can get in Superdrug. I think they're equatable to Cambridge. They're a competing company, but you can find them in High Street, in Superdrug. So not ideal, but for that one time that I got that product and I ate it, I had a way of having a meal, and then I knew I'd be able to then get to my products for lunchtime, and that's what I did. But you know what I mean? I had to come up with a backup plan for how to deal with that, because I didn't want to start to have to eat food and pick what to eat and where. And I had somewhere I had to be, and I couldn't go back home for it, and I was nowhere near a consultant. So I just had to deal with that. And it wasn't great, but I had it. And I moved on. So I had a way of dealing with that, even in that situation. So, what are those what if situations that you need to think through in your head, how you're going to react? So, when you're confronted with them, you know what you need to do without putting your, I was going to say goodwill, putting your willpower to the test on the spot, because chances are, if you're caught unaware, you're more likely to make the wrong choice or panic or, cave in or something. Whereas if you prepare for how you're going to react to things, you don't even need to think about it. You just, boom, there you go. That's my answer. This is how I deal with it. And you move on. So how do you prepare yourself for the unexpected? Moving on, 2 more to go. So number 4, key to success. Number 4 is to get support. I have said this a million times. Weight loss is an emotional process, is an emotional journey, no matter what. No matter how much weight you've got to lose, you've got to deal with so much with yourself. You've got to deal with so much from others. You need to deal with so much in terms of the ups and downs of daily life and personal expectations and expectations from others and reactions and comments and all of those things that will have an impact on whether you like it or not on your mental health. I am a firm believer, and this is just my opinion, but I am a firm believer that there's a huge correlation between extreme weight and extreme weight gains and obesity and mental health and what that does for you. And the reason that you get there is because you just get yourself into this loop that you don't even realize, into like a vicious circle. And you need support to snap yourself out of it. For me, it came in the form of a motherly intervention and my family talking to me in the right way. They had tried many interventions before, and I hadn't been receptive, and they hadn't been positioned in a way that I received them in the best way either. It just sometimes takes striking the right chord at the right time, and also you being in the frame of mind where you're determined to do it. But get the support that you need, and that will take different forms. So if you are doing Cambridge, well, first of all, actually, make sure that you're choosing the right diet for you, and that's the way that you get the support that you need. Because you may prefer group settings, you may prefer individual settings, you may prefer no people focus at all and that you do your own thing. Think about what will be the thing that you need the most. For me, that one-to-one contact and focus was better, because I'm fairly curious. I had quite a number of questions that I wanted to answer, and I never felt like in group settings they were addressed. And also in those group settings, you have a general theme, whereas what I found that is that you've got your own personal circumstances and things you're dealing with that week, and that's what I need to address. So that's why the personal approach is better for me. So choose the plan that is right for you. If you're going for Cambridge, choose the right consultant for you. Make sure that you have that personal connection, that you feel like they understand you, that you get each other, and they'll be able to provide the right level of support. Also think about your broader support network. Who are they? I've shared with you that my husband is doing it with me, and I could not be doing this without him. We reflect on where we are every single week. We keep ourselves focused, we cook our dinners together, we go through what we're going to need, our weekends, all of that. It makes such a massive difference. But, if you have family and kids, you'll need to think about that as well as your own needs and make sure that you take that into account. Who's going to be in your corner? Who's going to help you stay focused? Who's going to be that sounding board for you? Who is going to give you that reality check that you need from time to time? Who's going to help you think about all of the things that you have achieved so far that are not necessarily scale related, but they're still making a really positive contribution to your life. So think about all of those things and what is the support that you need from that, and that will be in all settings, whether it's at work, whether it's at home, whether it's at your weekends, whether it's in family events or socializing, who's going to be that person that is going to help you out and have your corner, and make sure that you get that support network around you, because it's really important. It will be very difficult to do it by yourself. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's so good to know that there is somebody there that gets you, that gets the effort that it takes, the focus that it takes, and that you can share what you're going through on a day-to-day basis, whether it's to share the shock about the size of your first meal, or whether it's to share the success of how a skirt or trousers are fitting you and how your waist has gone down or not, or what are the things that you're enjoying more or that you find the most frustrating. We all need to have that venting, that let out, network around us. So make sure that you pinpoint yours and you leverage them, and you also let them know what you need from them, because you're going through a lot and sometimes they may not know, and just say, look, I'm having a moment, I just need to share this with somebody, and use that. So after that, we come to key to success number 5, the last one. Keep your focus. And this is like, yes, great, Anna. If I could keep my focus, I would be doing it. So it's not about just keeping your focus and feeling like you need to be focused on that. Is how do you surround yourself by the things that are going to help you stay focused in a way that is really natural and really becomes quite easy, and it integrates into your life without you having to put a lot of work into that. So what do I mean by that? There are different levels to that, and it's what are the things that you're going to do that are going to help you stay motivated, connected, focused, keep going, and keep your energy and attention into what you're doing right now and into your diet and your weight loss. So I have one of my big things is about setting your goals. I have made a video for that. So if you haven't seen it, please check that out. And it's all about how do you think about your goals. So big goals, what are your big aspirations? What are the small aspirations? If you need to put them on the table, just write them all out on a piece of paper. Allow yourself to think about those aspirations, because sometimes you think, no, there's no way I'm going to be able to lose that much, or there's no way I'll ever get down to that size, or should I even think about that, because getting down to that size is so unrealistic given how much weight I've got to lose. Your goals are your own, as long as they're healthy, as long as it's something that is not detrimental to your health, that that is going to be a significant improvement and that you definitely want to achieve in your life, then there's no reason why you should cap that. But at the same time, understand that the bigger the dream, the bigger number of stepping stones you're going to need to achieve that. So you will also need to find a way of breaking it down into manageable chunks. So I've shared that I want to lose 11 stone. I am now at 5, so I am half a stone away from halfway point, which seriously, at the start of it, even though I had the ambition that, yes, I want to lose this much weight, one thing is what you think you can do, the other thing is actually making it. And I had different bits of, this is how much weight I want to lose. And I almost felt like I had put on so much weight from the last time that I needed to get rid of all of that. And that felt like damage control, getting rid of that excess weight to get to a point of overweight that I was about half a stone ago, and then actually starting to make a bigger difference. But to get to that point, I've had loads of different increments, whether it was stone, whether it was weight level on the scales, whether it was level of thresholds. I've also broken down the total weight I have to lose into quarters and thirds and percentages, and how much is 10% of my weight loss, and then kind of incremental. So that gives me little bits to focus on and that I can stick to, and as you achieve them, then celebrate each one of them as an achievement. But what are those things that are going to help you to keep focus and breaking them down into manageable stages? The other thing within keeping your focus is what helps you keep your motivation, what helps you to kind of stay in your weight loss zone. So for me, one thing that is really important is every weekend, my husband and I will go somewhere, and I think I've mentioned that our social life is probably equatable to that of pensioners, because we tend to go a lot to garden centres or to coffee shops, and we'll have a cup of tea, our little pot of tea, we'll have a nice chat, we'll put the world to rights, and then we'll go home, often with our dog or without. That's kind of one of our outings. I really miss it if we don't do it, because that time is our time for us to connect with each other and what's going on with each other's lives. Work, how we're feeling, energy, etc. It also is the time when we kind of share how we're feeling about our respective weight loss and what's working, what isn't working, what we're going to try differently. It also helps us to appreciate each other and what the other has gone through and achieved, which is so nice as well, to be able to recognize each other and what we're noticing that is different, whether it's physically, whether it's emotion, whether it's the level of energy, whether there's specific things that each other want to do. What are the things that are keeping you in that zone? And for us, talking through what we're going through, what our next target is going to be, how much we've got till we get there, how far we've come, all of that kind of stuff, that makes a big difference. And that's kind of one of my biggest go-to stay in focus conversations of the week. Clearly talking with my consultant is incredibly important, and we go through different stages. We also talk to her about things that are coming up in the future. So for example, in February we're going skiing, and we will need to prepare for what happens then. We're very much looking forward to it, but I'm also worried about how I'm going to handle that. I will still need to be on stage 1, but I won't be able to ski and be on 800 calories a day, so I want to work around that. So we talk through it, and it means I don't have to deprive myself of things that I want to do in life, but we talk through what are the strategies that are going to help me to stick to that and still enable me to do that. So being able to have those conversations is really interesting, and she's such an amazing cheerleader, support, really realistic conversations, so it's great to have that person to talk to and to really talk about the diet and what you're going through at a very personal level. Other things that I've shared in the past is whether you do journal. I've told you about my weight loss journal, whether you give yourself target clothes or a target event that you're going to go after. Those, for me, in the past have been a bit of a double-edged sword, because whilst I love having a piece of clothes that I want to get into, is almost the stress of the fact that I need to get into that makes me want to eat more. I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that, but I have been so bad for kind of psyching myself into things. It's like, oh my God, I need to get into that. And then I'm so stressed, I'm not going to make it. So before you know it, you've been eating, and then you've completely sabotaged yourself. So if you go for things like target clothes, target events, etc., just make sure that it's something that motivates you and drives you to stick to it. No, if you feel that you're self-sabotaging, if you feel that it's stressing you out, change your approach. Focus on baby steps, what you can achieve, how you're feeling, something different. Just channel that attention in a different way. Keep it on something positive that will help you. Keeping track of your achievements to date is also very important. Like I said, I do this with my husband, but things like how much weight I've lost each week, and then every month, and then how much I've lost so far. Also, how many dress sizes I've gone down, how I feel energy-wise, how much faster I walk the dog around the block. That seems to come around really quick versus how it used to be. My dog is exhausted. She's like, leave me alone. I don't want to go on another walk. But, those are the sorts of things that will help you, give you not just scale, what people call scale victories and non-scale victories. What are your signs for success that help you keep going and that give you that little moral boost that you need? And sometimes you need to see it on the scales, and sometimes you don't. So make sure you have a good combination of the two, because they're equally important. So with that, I will leave it there. Those are my 5 keys to success on the Cambridge Weight Plan. I hope that you're all having a fantastic week. Thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Please, all of you, leave me comments. I read all of them. I reply to everything. I can't wait to hear from you. I hope that you're having an amazing time on your own weight loss. And if there's any specific tips or questions that you have, feel free to drop me a line. Look forward to hearing from all of you. Have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you all soon. All the best. Bye.